check it out.
Do.
So this is our first live, and go over there and see. So this is our first live, and we're just gonna talk about stuff. Yeah. Say something.
Hey, still working? Still working. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up?
Oh, there was a little bit of a delay, but whatever. It's okay.
That's the live stream, so it's
Yeah.
so annoying.
Hi guys.
Hey.
So I'm Zach, and this is Raymond. We are LUBD Martial Arts,
Or La Union.
or La Union de la Diri. And first, we are going to say thank you for our 1,000 sub. This is the reason for our first live stream is we hit 1,000 likes, or no, 1,000 subs. So thank you very much.
Thanks.
And yeah, so LUBD is basically Filipino martial arts and Indonesian martial arts. Kali, Arnis, Eskrima, Pencak Silat, Biladiri, you name it. It's all there. So this is an inspiration, or should I say,
Your background?
no, not.
I mean, your experience with martial arts?
That's it. All into one. So yeah, that's the inspiration of the LUBD, is a culmination of the different arts that I've done
Over the years?
over the years, which is my main one is Pikiti Tirsha Kali, and all sorts. I've experienced different styles of FMA basically, and if you want to know, I'll leave a comment below, and I'll let you know which ones they are. So yeah, and of course Pencak Silat. I've been traveling the past 5 years. So every year I go home to the Philippines, and before I go home to the Philippines, I go to Indonesia and train Pencak Silat.
Cool.
So yeah.
I'm Raymond. I'm mostly like a business student. I just graduated with my diploma. I did some computer stuff back when I first went to university. And this guy was really bad with technology, so we started working together from a moving company. And then he approached me asking for some tech help. I was like, sure, what is it about? And then we've been practicing martial arts ever since.
That's right. And I think we started the channel,
Like a year ago, over a year?
about a couple years. I'd say about a couple years. Yeah, about a couple years. Give or take.
Approaching two, maybe?
Yeah, approaching 2. Well, I've been here for a year and a half now.
Yeah.
So more than 2. Yeah, about 2 years. Let's say 2 years.
Okay.
So we're just here to chat.
We are talking to one person?
Are we? Hi.
Hey. Is it us?
Oh, maybe it was you.
Whoop. Is it?
Not sure.
If you're not us, can you make a comment?
Make a comment.
Live chat?
Is there live chat?
Hey?
What?
I don't know.
We're good.
Yeah? Oh, we'll get recorded anyways, right?
Yeah, it's recording. So what is Filipino martial arts? Filipino martial arts is. It's a weapon-based martial arts. So, in short, it's stick fighting. So we start off with a stick,
And then move on to.
a double stick, and spada y daga, spada y daga, or sword and dagger, or a bunch of sticks, knives, ooh, I don't know.
Staffs.
Staff, flexible weapon. So you start off with a weapon, and then you move on to the empty hand aspect of martial arts. Poof. And we also have knives, but today we're only using rubber knives or trainers. So we have a bunch of sticks. So yeah, so you start off with sticks, and away you go. So I'm just gonna hit Raymond, like so, clunk. I'm kidding. So again, Filipino martial arts, you start off with weapon or a stick, and then you move on to empty hand. The idea is, well, why do you start off with a weapon? Is because back in the days when you have to protect your land or you have to protect your village, you don't have time to train empty hands, so you deal with, someone's attacking your village with a weapon. You're gonna learn how to use a weapon first. And if I get hit, for example, right, so hit my hand, I lose my weapon, well then what? So now I'll fight empty-handed. So empty hand is sort of the last resort
How so?
back in the days, because if you lose your weapon or you get disarmed, for example. So, and most of the empty hand is based on the weapon movement anyway. So for example, this is your super basic angles 1 and 2. So since Raymond is left-handed, work of the devil. Okay, so he's gonna hit me with an angle 1 on the head, yeah, angle 2. Okay, so this is your basic training. So we'll start off with an angle 1, okay, an angle 2, angle 1, and angle 2. Okay, let me just fix my excellent microphone. If you would like to know what microphones we're using, we will put that on the link. These are awesome microphones, by the way. So I'm wearing a microphone, he's wearing a microphone. It's fantastic. So anyways, 1 and 2. So you start with your basic angles 1 and 2. Okay, so with this movement, right, so you can simulate, or for example, I'm right-handed, so your angles 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2, or with the right hand, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So with that, if I don't have a weapon, say for example he does a punch, right? Okay. So this is where an angle 1 would help, okay? Or in Pikiti Tertia, I call it the bisecting line, okay? Because I'm bisecting this line here with my angle 1. Okay, so punch again. So this is my angle 1. Okay, so for example, this is my angle 1 to the head, angle 2 to the head. And if I don't have a weapon, then I'm fighting like so. He throws a punch, I'll do my angle 1, and I'm gonna bisect this line. Okay, depending on the range. If I go in, of course, obviously, if someone's gonna attack you or gonna punch you, they're gonna come in really close to your face and lunge at you. So if I angle off to the side and time it, there's my angle 1 to the head. Okay, so again, you go here, and then you move on to a more intricate movements. For example, so I deflected this punch here with my angle 1. Okay, then I can move on to all this intricate movement, right? And Silat has a lot of that where, okay, I have this, I'm holding the hand, I'm gonna go in, grab the head, here, here, all this movement. So let's look at that again. So your basic 1 and 2, or for example, he's got his guard. Okay, nothing's happening. Okay, it's maybe a threat, and then, but you wanna make sure that he's not gonna do anything anymore. Okay, so one of the things is, so put your guard up. I can open it with my angle 1 or angle 2 with my empty hand, or just go in like so. Okay, so if he blocks it, right? Okay, then there's my opportunity. I just bridge the gap, because from here, there's really nothing happening here, right? Unless something is extended, let's say a punch, right? So if there's something extended, then I have something to work with, okay? So I can either hit the hand here, then I'll follow up with the number 2. So, easy. 1 here, 2 here. I can do a kick, do a punch. Okay, which leads into, now they call the panantukan. So panantukan, empty hand, Filipino martial arts. Okay, so many names: panantukan, suntukan, depending on the region that you're at. Oh, heaven. Anyways, so yeah. So Filipino martial arts, you started with a weapon. We showed you a little bit of some empty hand application of it. We won't go into details since this is only our first live stream and we're trying to get used to this kind of setup. And yeah, if you'd like to see more, we'll definitely do more. There's more actually on, just check on the playlist. We have
Basic Cali.
Basic Cali. Okay, we have training blogs. We do a lot of sparring, absolutely. Because we like to try, it's one thing to learn how to swing the stick, but when
it comes at you.
When it comes at you at like 100 miles an hour, and then it's totally different, right? So we put on our fencing mask, we have our gloves, and we go at it and sort of like pressure test what you know. And nowadays, it's not some, well, it depends where you are. Where we really a place. But a wise man said to me, learning martial arts, it's like having a car insurance. It's there when you need it. So yeah. And of course, I have one of my teachers. I asked him once, well, how do you defend against a knife? Or how, because my cousin got into a knife fight. And it's like, well, what do you do? And so I asked one of my mentors and said, well, how do you teach someone how to defend themselves against a knife? And he basically said, well, teach them how to use a knife, which is, it's true. You have to understand how the weapon works so you can defend yourself
Against it.
Right? So from, let's say, from a single stick, we move on to a double stick. So with the double stick, when you talk about double stick, it's always this sinawali. Okay, well, what is sinawali? It's the weaving of 2 sticks or 2 weapons, right? So we're going this way, 1, 2, okay, da da da. Okay, so you're weaving it, which is really, it is a very good empty hand if you don't have the stick. So you have this here and this here, in this, right? So 3 counts. So 1, 2, 3. Okay. So say for example, you're hanging out, you're chilling, minding your own business, and like for me, I like to just hang out like this because just it's what guys do.
What are you looking at?
Exactly. Like, what are you looking at? Like, no, I'm not looking at anything right now. So anyway, so from this position, you have your basic Sinawali position like this, right? 1, 2, and 3. Okay, well, it's a great way to, or it's an excellent self-defense position, I would say, because you're here. Okay, so if a punch comes, right? So you have this one here. You have your guard already, right? So one more. So right here, okay. And then I have here. I have my follow, which is my left hand, and then I can go for my counter. Okay, so if you look at that again, I'm right here. Pak, pak, pak. Okay, so with the double stick is stick your hand for a second. So I go here. So you have 1 and 2 and then 3. Okay, so just 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so now without it, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, then you can, again, from this position, you bridge the gap. I have something to work with. Okay, I can move on to or all this throws and takedowns, controls and whatnot. So yeah, just hanging out, going like these. Okay, so you have your basic Sinawali position right there. And of course, the way I see it is playing with the stick will give you this hand speed per se, depending on the weight of your stick, because you do this a million times, you're going to get used to the weight of the stick, right? So you always do that. How many years have you practiced or whatever? How many hours have you put into swinging a stick, your basic 1 and 2? Then later on, without anything, your hand is going to be fast. Like that. See? He didn't even see it. He just lost his lunch. Right? So 1, 2, and 3. And then you move on to sword and dagger. Just I have a dagger somewhere. Okay, so sword and dagger. So with this, people say it has it's influenced by the Spanish one. The Spanish was in the Philippines for however long, 300 or so years. The story was most of the Spanish missionaries or the Jesuits, I think they are really good fencers, or they're into fencing, and they taught their slaves, or the indios as they call it, fencing. And one of the stories too is, of course, the Spanish is wearing armors compared to the natives, which are basically wearing a loincloth or a sarong, for example. No protection. Well, there is some armor, but it's not a metal armor. So imagine for example, one of the movements in Pikiti is we're going under, clunk. Okay, here, clunk is because if he was wearing an armor, metal armor, okay, this is not gonna penetrate anything, right? But right here, it's not protected. So one of the movements in Pikiti is we go high and low, for example. Okay, so I go high here, then I go low, clunk. All right, so there's something that I'm gonna look at. So the opening would be the neck here or the armpit, right? Anything with something to do with the human articulation is not covered with metal. right? So this is articulated. This is articulated, right? So that's not going to be covered with iron plate or anything like that. So, one of the targets would be, so if he comes in right here, oh, jeez, it tickles, he says,
Tickles, yes.
right? So some of the movements are going low, clunk, okay? And Filipinos were short people. Foreign invaders are tall. So you take down the legs and you take down the limbs, and now it's a fair fight. We're about the same height now. We're good. So yeah, so espada y daga, sword and dagger, or garote y daga, depending on the region. And of course we have staff, but we didn't bring the staff today. And when you talk about staff, it's a little bit more, I would say, very tribal in the Philippines. Like say the Igorots, they use the staff. Some of the tribes in Negros, they use the staff. So yeah. And of course, flexible weapon. We do flexible weapon or latigo. So, and that is that. So again, we just gave you a brief intro to what is LUBD, and we appreciate the support since we already have 1,000, and we're hoping to see more. And yeah, you guys have a good day.
I got a like. That one.